doña.
What's
Okay.
going on, guys?
I think we actually got the podcast started.
Hello, world.
Let's go.
Hey. What's cracking, lacking, guys?
We got the vibes going. Kovaly, you might have to scoot 2 inches to the left so you can be on this in frame.
He's like trying to tell me like I'm Beyonce or something. To the left. You gotta push it to the left.
I'm just trying.
Yo, welcome to the Worldly Integration Podcast, yo.
Big facts.
Hello. Thank you all. Welcome to the Worldly Integration Podcast.
Worldly integration.
This is
It's Life A1. I ain't got the shirt on today, but it's Life A1. And today we got a special guest. Who's our special guest today?
Hello, this is T-Gaddy.
Say that one more time for them.
T-Gaddy.
Hey, T-Gaddy. And guess what? He's a very special person in the STL area. You know what I'm saying? T-Gaddy. How do you know Kovaly?
yo, guys. T-Gaddy, this is
Are you still recording?
T-Gaddy, that's family. But you guys gonna get to know T-Gaddy more. You know what I mean? So what I mean by family is like you're gonna get to know him more. But he's family. Overall, thank you guys for tuning in. This is our second episode, and of course, thank you for checking out the pilot episode that we had.
Big
I
facts.
haven't seen too many comments yet. I don't know what's going on. I mean, you guys need to tap in, you know what I mean? But, today, as we stated previously in our episode, worldly integration is essentially based on anything that acquired in our life or whatever we speak on as individual enchantment accordingly. So today's topic we're gonna be mostly focusing on, well, a lot of stuff.
It's a lot of stuff. Worldly integration.
World Integration is the podcast, and Kovaly Kavv is one of the hosts, aka Coco Beat, Pentagon, Kavrache, Mr. Introduce me to your best bitch.
Also, I want to add, worldly integration is basically we integrating all things of the world. Yeah, just anything. So if you make music, you're a scientist, you're a political person. Eventually, we're gonna go around the world with these topics, and you know what I'm saying. We try to reach out to everybody. What does worldly integration mean to you, T-Gaddy? Talk to the mic if you can.
Just everyone treating everyone with the utmost respect. Just being a genuine human being.
Hey, that's true. I ain't gonna lie, before we get into our topics, what's up, chat? What's up, YouTube? I just want to say my energy is so high right now. Like I feel like my brain is moving 1,000 miles per hour, but I'm really just sitting here. It's hard to explain this emotion. I promise I didn't do any type of illegal intoxicants. But what I am saying is that I do feel some kind of way right now. And also it's mainly because what we about to talk about tonight is part of my experience last night, and I'm pretty sure part of some of their experience in their daily life with these young gunners right here. So that's why my energy is so high right now. So which one of y'all want to lead us into the topics?
Well, let me introduce this subject and kind of formulate it and pose it to you accordingly to what I have heard experience, right? So I think our subject will be based on experience with women and dating and how things can be overwhelming, right? So essentially, as we as men we speak, and for women as well, our question that we are posing and the subject we are basing our opinion on today is based on, could a date be overwhelming, and what are the disappointment that it can lead to? So somehow certain people refrain from going to too many dates because it can be overwhelming, because hey, they do it less and they have higher expectation.
What does that mean?
I
I sound like I'm being goofy, but I'm so serious.
So they do it less, so they have high expectation when it comes down to going on date. So if you're doing it less, that means you have an expectation like, hey, if I go on this date, I'm expecting that this woman should appreciate my, you know, haircut, my little mustache that I just aligned.
All right.
You know,
I could feel that.
so going on last day can accumulate high expectation that will cause some sort of overwhelmness that could, conclude to disappointment because you put so much emphasis into
Right.
taking care of yourself.
So y'all people out there, stop getting disappointed.
But what is it based on? So it's like,
Right.
a day be overwhelming, and what are the disappointment that it can lead to? So for me, per se, what I just stated, less of dating helped me because by doing less, I feel like whenever I go on date, I have higher expectation. Does it meet those requirements? No, it doesn't. Then that's another subject of how I deal with it. But I know that I have to refrain from just putting myself out there and then critiquing the other, you know, date. Like, hey, you didn't accept me, blah, 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 blah. I don't know your life. You don't know my life. You don't know what I'm working on. So I cannot force things on you. So it can be overwhelming if that day don't call me back and then I expect them to call them back and I'm start calling them back so often like, hey, this is how you need to be.
Right. So what does that mean to you, T-Gaddy? You feel like dating can be overwhelming? Do you feel like there's an easy way to be disappointed when dating?
Yeah, there's certain instances where certain people can feel overwhelmed when they're not used to being treated different than they are normally treated, to where they would feel some type of way about different situations, to where that would cause them to be scared or think that something is abnormal from the way that they're being treated. Whenever sometimes it's just a natural, it just comes natural to certain people.
You saying you think dating comes natural to certain people?
I mean, I wouldn't say dating in general, but just the way that people treat certain people.
Oh yeah, that is true.
To where you got people that treat people differently, and then you got people that treat people another way. And if it's not all the same, they might feel intimidated by that person that treats them better than what they're used to.
Ooh. Right now, Kovaly is fixing some technical difficulties with his microphone right now. But do you want to use my mic right now to go in? Okay. Well,
What do you think about? Go ahead, man.
so all right. So what I want to say about that, I can agree, But I ain't gonna lie, both of y'all probably got more dating experience than me. See, my thing when I be with different girls, like, you know, maybe it is dating and I just don't see it like that. I feel like um I ain't gonna say I do treat them all equally, but I also look at the intentions of the girl and I match them or not match them. I compare them with my own intentions. So some females I feel like, um, yeah, they're used to a certain way or they have a certain standard, and like, or they want something, which is something Kovaly said earlier. They want their dating life to be a certain way, and sometimes when it becomes their way or is presented to them, they kind of get shy. They kind of like run away from it. But also that intimidation, I think is just I think that's just like a natural human thing. Like picture like if you know, let's just take it outside of the dating perspective. Let's just say like you you have an expectation like you want something to go a certain way no matter what it is, or you want something to feel some type of way, and then when it happens, it's like, dang, like hold on, let me take a step back. Like this is really in my face right now. Like I know I wanted it, but like dang, like this is I made this happen, and I don't know how to react to it. So I feel like, you know, hopefully I responded correctly, but I can understand why you feel that way. And do you feel like do you date often?
Nah, I just go out and have it. I have a good time. I wouldn't necessarily call it dating. I just would call it having a good time.
Having a good time.
Filling out different women's vibes.
Nice.
If anything, I feel I'm gonna always do what I want to do, to where, regardless of me inviting them out to hang out, and if I get oh, I don't want to do that response, I'm still gonna do that, because at the end of the day, you might go to somewhere and you might meet a different female that's at that same thing that you were trying to enjoy, to where that's a mutual interest that you guys got. So at the end of the day, you're not losing out on somebody that you invited out to have a good time with you, because you will find somebody there that have similar interests with you, and you guys will have a good time at that establishment or whatever event you go to.
I feel you on that. Honestly, this is how I feel about dating, because it's gonna lead us into the next topic also. Because you know, a lot of women talk about they want their man to have money, and some men do got money. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, some men got more money than other men. I feel like dating standards right now. I wouldn't say that dating standards are too high. I would just say that maybe at some point we had both perspectives. We have certain standards that aren't necessarily, like, not everybody wants to live up to those standards. So I feel like honestly, the way things are right now, people choose to just have good times with people. Now, me on the other hand, I would love to go date. I like dating. I just don't date often. I want to date often. I be like, man, I got stuff I want to fix, or I got stuff I want to do, or I might be like, I got bills to pay, so I can't really just be spending all my money on, you know, going on dates and stuff like that. But what's been changing my mind about it is, like, you know, which is also one of our topics about being disappointed. I feel like I've tried to eliminate the disappointment. That's something new that I've been doing, is trying to eliminate the disappointment. And what I mean by that is, like, so last night, this morning, however you want to call it, I took me and a friend, ended up meeting some nice, beautiful women at a party or whatever. And long story short, we ended up going to breakfast with these girls. And would I consider that a date? Not really. But if you think about a date, like usually when you're interested in somebody, you go out with them, right? So it's kind of like a date, but it's not really a date because we're not even taking it serious. We just, we just happy to be around some females that want to hang out. So I paid for her dinner or her breakfast. He paid for her breakfast. But I didn't have any expectations after that. One, because it wasn't like, hey, babe, I'm trying to date you. You know what I mean? I think you beautiful. I want you to be my girlfriend. It was nothing like that. It was just more like, for real. It was just like, hey, look, we going to get food and we would love for y'all to join us, but we do think you're attractive, and if it doesn't lead to other things, that's cool. But if not, no biggie. So that's my way of like eliminating the disappointment. Do you ever feel like, as a dude, regardless of how much money you have, do you think like there's some form of disappointment you run into?
Yeah. I feel that, it's gonna sound very, what do they call that terminology? It's, I can't think of it right now, but I do feel that way.
That's an interesting perspective. What? So for me, I try to eliminate disappointment because I know at the end of the day, I still got things I want to work for and achieve that I haven't achieved, and so therefore, if I don't necessarily get the results that I want from a date, I don't get disappointed. I just kind of like leave it where it is. Yes, there is a small amount of disappointment because I want to feel better about myself. I want to be that guy. You know what I'm saying? I want the girls to be screaming over me, you know what I mean, going crazy. But, what do you care to go in more detail about what you just said?
Nah, not for real. I'm still trying to think of the terminology that I want to use
To describe the disappointment?
I wouldn't even call it disappointment. I wouldn't say it's disappointment because either way, I'm still gonna do what I do. To where one, it's basically like where they say the old saying, "One monkey don't stop the show." Okay. To where you still gonna do what you do, regardless of how somebody did something to you. To where, obviously you're gonna feel some type of way about that, some type of hurt or whatever, which is fine. But then you're still gonna be like, hey, I'm me. This is who I am. I'm still going to do the things that I do naturally.
True.
To where you're gonna I'm always gonna have a good time. So whenever you're around, you're gonna have a good time.
Right.
If you don't want to have a good time, hey, that's on you. But I'm still gonna enjoy myself. Right. I'm not gonna lose sleep over that or whatever. It's just like, hey, you're a loss.
Yeah, I ain't gonna cap. I don't be disappointed. I be big mad. I be big mad. Wanna know why I'm mad? I ain't even mad at her. I'm mad because I want to be that guy. Okay, I want to be sexy. I want to be attractive. I want to be masculine, not like toxic masculinity. I just like want to be masculine. I want to be. I want to feel like a safety net. I want to feel like she falling head over heels for me. I ain't gonna cap. So that's where my big mad come from. It ain't really about her. My disappointment is not in her. My disappointment is I gotta be that guy. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want to compare myself to like celebrities and stuff like that because they got their own thing going on. But at the same time, I'm very inspired by them because I might see the success, or I might see, hey, this guy's in shape, or this guy has this amount of money. And I'm not comparing myself in the aspect of like, I got to be just like them. I just compare myself like, you know what? I want to be that guy. That's why I try to put myself into that mindset. Like, I want to be that dude. And so therefore, that's why I don't be disappointed. I be big mad.
So now, despite those, sorry for me not being able to intertwine throughout this whole conversation because we had some technical difficulties. So now I just have my microphone back on. But overall, I'm saying they handled it pretty well. But I mean, the the story is so lovely to the point that it can go any kind of way, right? Like it's like, who do you blame and who do you not blame? As I always say.
He said, "Who do you blame, and then who do you not blame?"
Right? Because overall, I always ask this question, right? So if you go on a date, whatever it may be, do you leave or do you call the person? So yes, like we talk about all of this, right? Like, hey, this is how I feel, blah blah. Well, despite how think things may have acquired, like after you process your thought, the next day, the following day, the featuring day, and you dwell on it, do you call the person or do you feel some sort of resentment?
You asking me?
Yeah, I mean, because pretty much what you guys have concluded is like, you're like, hey, I am this is me. Hey, I want to feel this way and that, right? In
Right.
particular form that you are protecting yourself, knowing that you are enjoying whatever you wanna imagine without keeping that other date inclusive.
Right.
But I know as men, which I can understand, hey, we all have this vision like, hey, that's how we protect ourselves. But overall as men, hey, I know one of these guys gonna call that shorty back like, oh, what's up, boo? So my question is, do you just dismiss that person from that experience, or do you call that person later on in the future? Because as a man, women are very interesting. That if we're able to keep that story alive, then we may want to just dial that number and be like, hey, shawty.
You want to answer that, T-Gaddy?
What was the topic?
Do you follow up after a date? Do you want to keep it interesting? Like, are you the type of person you gonna call her the next day or send her a text the same night?
Not necessarily the next day, because so my thing is, yo, like as men, we all have this, you know, comfortability of what we are, who we are, and how we able to be masculine and mask ourselves. And I think like as creators, that's what keep our juice flowing correctly. But overall, despite that, it's like, hey, certain point you want to call that lady or whatever it is that you had the date with and be like, yo, this is how I've been feeling. Like we want to be able to express ourselves like if you're an artist, essentially. So yes, we can sit around homeboys and just blah blah, but it's like, how would you know more if you don't call back or if she doesn't call back? Because if she doesn't call back, then it's like where does it become a date, or where does it become a disappointment, or where does it become an a burden or something that is overwhelming?
Yeah, I think T-Gaddy should answer that one.
Um,
Yeah, I'm talking to Mike.
to where, if you guys don't mind, please say the topic again.
So pretty much you guys like conclude like how you went on date, right? Like so you spoke on, the experience you have with women, like, hey, I am a man, I take you out, I sweep you off your feet. So whenever I hit you up on your DM, you should reply. right? Because that's just a masculine thing. That's so manly. But sometimes we don't place ourselves in a woman's shoes, knowing that it's overwhelming for her to have such a man that just like doesn't care about hitting them up on the DM, and you sweep them off their feet. And then they don't respond. You like, yo, like this is crazy. Like, how come she didn't reply? I did everything in the book that a man is supposed to do. So it's like, how do you so knowing that like you able to sweep women off their feet and they don't respond in a appropriate way that society or whatever they have envisioned. As a man, how do you deal with that? Do you just understand them, or do you just like, hey, I'm just gonna continue being a good man, or I'm just gonna
I just feel like basically you just charge it to the game. You charge it to the game. You had a good time. You know that you know that everything went well, and the ball is not in your court anymore. The ball is in the young lady's court that you were dealing with, to where you done everything you did to make sure everything was nice. So you can't dwell on that in your heart as a man, and to where you're tripping off of it. You already knew you did what you were supposed to do, to where you can't think about her response or whatever. Because in the end, at some point, they will reach back out to you, and they want to be around positivity, this and the third, even though it don't come out at that beginning, because they get overwhelmed. Yeah. But all in all, in the end, you will majority of the time hear back from that person, and they will want to try to get back into you because they know your vibe, they know the type of person you are. They want to come back. It is what it is. It's no denying.
Essentially, at the end of the day, they know like what you did for them, whether it's like taking them out on a date and picking up the check. It's from your own gracious heart. It has nothing to do with like.
And see, it doesn't really have to deal with that though. You can just be at the young lady's house as simple things of taking out the trash, doing the dishes, like that. But if you really genuinely care for the young lady, you would. That's something just in your nature. You know what I'm saying? So obviously, sometimes some of the women's don't want you to do that or whatever, which is cool. They just feel like they can own it. That's just how they are. You don't take it as a disrespect. It's just something that you kind of you just do. But all in all, they see that, they appreciate it. But then again, they don't know how to communicate, and that's what I learned a lot. The communication is a lot of it's very important. Communication.
I feel like before we even get to the crib of her crib and taking out the trash, I feel like, all right, so if I go on a date, I'm gonna just use my experience from last night. It wasn't really a date, but it kind of felt like a date because it was like we was actually we were playing around as if we were dating, because we knew it was fun for that time.
What do you mean you guys were playing around? Were you playing around like house playing around?
Yeah, we honestly, kind of. Cause look, it was like this. This is just me. I can't speak for some men. A lot of men are like very mature. I can't say that I'm immature, but I do like having fun, and I like making fun of some situations. Cause at the end of the day, I ain't really tripping. I'm enjoying the moment. So what I mean by that is like, yeah, we was playing around because these girls were not our girlfriends, and I can't guarantee that I will ever even see these girls again. And if I do, at least I know I got a positive memory from our experience. So, yeah, we were playing around by like, we'll hold hands, we'll hug, we'll lean on each other. We showing each other affection, right? But at the end of the day, like I know I might not get I might not get another experience with this girl. So like I'm playing it up as much as I can. Like I'm saying this is my wife, blah blah blah. You know what I mean? She going along with it. This girl might have a boyfriend at home. I don't know what she got going on. I just know that she enjoying her time with me right now and she appreciates my compliments. And then I did hit her DM. No, I did not get a response. Guess what? I'm not even offended. Wanna know why? Because I don't want to be. I'm not really disappointed because the time that I spent with this woman went great, and I just have to, like he say, charge it to the game. Because to me, I would rather try, and if it don't go well, I'd be less disappointed than not trying. If I don't slide in the DMs, but I like a girl, and I never slide in the DMs, don't send her a heart emoji or something, and then it's like I didn't even try, I didn't even give myself a shot. It could have been something there, and if it was something there, and I didn't even try to go get it, it's like dang, that's like double losing to me. So for me, if I do slide and it don't really go well, then it's like cool. It is what it is. Wanna know why? First of all, it could be a universal thing. Like it could be like I got things going on in my life, she got things going on in her life, and whatever we trying to do, it probably don't even match. You know what I mean? But at the same time, since our paths did cross, there is some initial attraction there, so that's why we can play around.
And speaking of how you guys' past could come across and then being able to do that, I have another question, right? So, how do you tell the difference between the present? Like, how do you differentiate things that
Oh,
happen
that's
in
a
the
good
present
question.
moment? You know what I mean? Like, cause you say you guys cross your path, right?
Yeah,
So
I
it's
got
like we
it.
had met before. So like, how, I think like that goes uh, kind of profound about soul connection because I think like what you're telling our audience today and guys we have been speaking a lot today and thank you again for tuning to the Worldly Integration Podcast today. Of course we have our guest T-Gaddy that came in, what I'm saying. So these topics today is just based on women experience, so there is really not like a segment. It's just us gentlemen conversing and having a good time because we are pre-gaming for New Year. So thank you for hanging out with us. So back to you, Life A1.
How can I tell the difference between the what's in the present and what could be for the future?
Yeah, based off your experience, because just what you just stated, you say hi you and that lady you had. You know, it wasn't really a date, but just being and catering to her, taking care of her, felt like you guys crossed path
Yeah.
for a purpose. Even if you don't see her again, that connection was essential because it kind of like just rejuvenates you, brought
Yeah.
more things that were essential to you. So it's
Hey,
like
shout
how,
out to her, definitely
like
rejuvenated me.
like what are the differences? Like what do we think are like difference? What differences can we make in a present moment?
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like in the
I'm a,
present, or what are the differences?
yeah. If people trying to learn like my mindset right now through this podcast, like how I tell the difference, I would say, um, don't take everything I say as like it's 100%. That's what it is because I still learn as I go. But I do want to say, and y'all can. I would want y'all to you T Gaddy and Kovaly. I want y'all to agree with me if y'all have similar feelings. So for me, one I could tell by how playful I am. If I'm like super playful, I'm intoxicated or whatever. I'm not caring as much like about my own emotions, and I'm just going with it. That's kind of one sign. Two, um, This is a really good question. Uh, two. This is hard. Hold on. I'm sorry, my podcast watchers. You gotta listen to me say. But I'm literally trying to answer this question logically or with a good answer. Uh,
Because he goes with everything that he experienced, so you guys have to understand this based off recollections and
yeah.
adjustment.
Cause, all right, so I put it like this: I have, if I meet a girl and I'm out, I normally, so if I meet a girl and I'm out, I'm already in a playful mood. So my mind is already in the present at the time because I'm already out. I'm here to have a good time. I worry about tomorrow when tomorrow comes. Now, if I meet a girl and like I make plans with her, then that's when I feel like it's gonna be more than just hanging out with her that night. Cause I feel like I've made an initial to make plans. So, um, I go off of that, and I also go off of how goofy we fucking act. Most girls who I act really goofy with, or I'm like just being real playful with, I know that might just be the only time I see them. Some girls where I have these real serious conversations for some reason and get real deep, I know I might see them again. So I don't know, T-Gaddy, how you feel about that before you do it? The topic is how could you differentiate your time with a woman of it just being in the present versus like you're gonna have a longer experience with this person. That's what I'm saying.
Well, would you be able to fix it in a present moment if you have the power to fix it in a present moment? And if you would, well, how would you fix it?
I know with me sometimes I only want one night, so
I mean, it just all depends on
But it depends on you, because if you have, because the difference in the present moment is based on ourselves, right? Because then we don't get to accuse the other side, because pretty much today's topic embodies everything, and you know what I'm saying, like, you see, guys, this is a very, because we are the best guys that you women out there need a date. You see what we say? So you see,
it's more like
right? Because everything we stated throughout this topic, because we only had one topic, we knew we didn't have to have so many, because just based on one topic, we can decipher in so many elements, right? So overall, what we base it off is like, hey, how do we feel? And then every person spoke on that masculine side. But now, when we alter it and then let that other person sit in that position, what do we think? So what do we think? What I mean is, in the present moment, if you can fix it, how do you fix it? So what are the differences in the present moment? If you go on a date and the stuff that we have, dislike and like, if you can fix something in the present moment, what would it be when we go on date? Like, should we say, hey, in this present moment, I would just like this girl to be proper and know how to hold a fork. With me as a man, and I'll answer that question. Me, I like to have a woman that just like spontaneous, right? It's like you don't have to know everything. You not knowing and me teaching you and us elevating keep me comfort. So I would never want to have a real present moment. My present moment is just what I'm imagining it to be, but then in the present moment, I am in the present moment and accepting it all, and then we working towards the future of my imagination that I have adapted.
but see, a lot of times they, like you said, if you go to a nice establishment, they don't know the basics from that because they just used to what they used to, and you're used to what you used to. So
Yeah.
you might have that intelligence of which fork to use, how to dress yourself for the occasion, just certain stuff like that. To some, it's simple, but to some, it's not. And it's just all about that communication to where you dealing with that person to where you kind of adapt to them. You learn what they like, what they dislike, and you're open to teaching or listening to learn about certain things. Not saying that you always know everything that's going on, but also hearing out from the other person on their perspective on stuff.
I feel like y'all speaking from such a mature, such a such a mature angle, talking about knowing which fork to hold.
Yeah, me and Coco, we been there, done it. So where it's like, it's not that. Oh, so this is a term that I was thinking of that I couldn't think of earlier. It was called entitlement. Well, you feel entitlement. That was a terminology that I couldn't think of earlier.
Oh, the entitlement, yeah.
Where that's a word. That's a whole nother.
Yes, yes, I love
that's
that
a whole.
word.
That's a whole nother
Love
topic
that. Oh,
of discussion right there.
It's an entitlement. Yes, because it's never been by masculine.
Yeah.
Right? It's never been because we pretty much the people we are, and I know the audience. If you don't love us, yes, you are going to love us, right? Because we individual that are always trying to cultivate our internal selves, right? We know we masculine, but of course the world is sensitive. How do we tell you guys that what we're talking about pretty much means that it's entitlement, right? Entitlement has nothing to do with sex.
Right. Entitlement is just.
So I love that.
Yeah, that's true. Hey, he hit that on the nose. Hey, for sure.
That was a term that I was thinking of. I got a whole bunch of thoughts going in my head to where the right word that I wanted to pronounce didn't come at that moment, but it came to me at
the best moment, at the best moment to conclude it.
Yeah, but I ain't gonna lie. I'm gonna just put my 2 cents in. Y'all speaking from a real mature grown man standpoint. I be out here talking with girls that party. I be out here talking with college girls that they might not necessarily be a party girl, but they just, like to enjoy their life. You know what I'm saying? Some girls that watch anime and stuff.
Hey, life, but we've been there, done that. Okay. We did it at the Lumiere back in the day when it was popping, the landing. We've been there, done that. Okay. Like, we did a lot of stuff to where me and I call him Coco, one of my good brothers. We been there, done that to where I feel also the word of entitlement to where we did a lot of stuff before a lot of people. Even though it wasn't
facts.
It wasn't
so that's why we're able to be so mature and
It's like a second nature to us. It's something we just do.
Hey, I commend that, to be honest, because I'm gonna put it like this. I'm not saying that. Once again, I'm not saying I'm not mature, but I feel like I represent a type of audience that is in the U.S. Y'all also represent an audience, okay? Y'all represent that audience of the men who will take a girl to a 5-star restaurant. We'll do that. I won't take a girl to a 5-star restaurant. I represent that audience. Hey, sometimes we just out here getting it, and we gonna show up, and if I can afford it, I will make sure we have the best time while we there. Also, I might be slightly a man-ho, and I might have other options, but I really, really like you, so don't expect for me to go I forgot what he said earlier, where he was like, you do everything right, you do everything perfectly. So don't expect me to do everything perfectly, but I will try my best to do everything perfectly. One, because I got to build up my financial status and I got to build up my maturity. Two, I am highly influenced by things that I see, so I'll kind of just go around, you know what I mean? And it's not that I'm immature, it's just I just really enjoy having fun, so I would want to, when I go on a date, I don't take it so serious, this is the serious thing. I'll be like, man, this girl cute, she hanging out with me, I'm having fun, I'm finna drink, you know what I mean? If we do go somewhere nice, I'm like, man, this is cool. I am here in the moment, and I think, I'm not saying it's a good mindset. I'm just letting y'all know my perspective and the type of people that I kind of represent.
And that's the representation from a man perspective, right? So, and then from overall, what do you think? Because everything that we have to do goes with success, right? Being successful, and then we had to, elaborate with women. So do we think that food talk or money talk to women? Because you can be so successful and attain the Lamborghini. which why get a Lamborghini where you can get a camel. So do we think being successful as a man and being masculine, is that something that a woman want, or do you think a woman would prefer a good meal that a man can cook with their own hand from scratch opposed of taking them out on a date? Because taking them on a date, that's money. You have to spend money. So to conclude this whole segment that we have today, that's how we concluded it, and then we're gonna, call it a night, because we're gonna go and experience some of these women and make sure that we bring them onto the Worldly Integration podcast so they can intertwine with us, because we feel like we're just us men having our own opinion. It's based on our own experience with the other women, but we would like to have other women because we speaking based on our own experience, and then we would like to hear other women that we.
They gonna give us the other side.
Oui, c'est ça. Oui. Et puis, on dit ça, oui. Voulez-vous coucher avec moi ce soir? C'est quoi je dis à les bitches.
I feel in my heart, men and women need to start holding each other accountable for actions.
Accountability, and also, I'm just adding to it. I don't even know if you're done. Sorry if I cut you off. We need to show more care for each other, and what I mean by that is, it don't gotta be permanent. It don't gotta be for a whole entire lifetime. And this is just me talking. I can't represent every man, but I do think we only got each other, so ain't no need to. If someone's not your type, that's one thing, but don't not show love to somebody or use your entitlement to be an asshole. You know what I mean? And that go for men and women, because you got really cool men out here. I'm having deja vu right now. But you got really cool men out here who can get very beautiful women, and then they use their entitlement to a certain way. And there's very beautiful women that do the same thing. I just feel like last night I had a really good experience just in general from going out and with these people. And what made me enjoy it and what made me want to try harder to be a better man was just having the small experience of enjoying someone's company and throwing out the bullshit. So I'm leaving. I'm done on that. We need to come together.
To conclude it, I think food talk or money talk to women? I think food talk to women. Food talk to women. Even the poorest motherfucker that's going out there working in agriculture, planting stuff. You know what I mean? Like, a woman will want to know the refreshment of where that derived from, where this cucumber came from, how did you plant the seed? Those are things that nurture money. So yes, women will follow money, but the root of it is feeding them food. So as a man, we have to know how to get in their kitchen and then get our hand dirty and then show them that we have a good palate. And that's the richest format that a man can have as for me. Because if I continue trying to impress him with the money, that shit will run out. But I know if I know how to cook, you'll always be full. Thank you guys very much for tuning into the second episode of the Worldly Integration podcast. And thank you, our guest, T-Gaddy, Terrence, my good friend, family, very, very good family. You know what I'm saying? You guys going to be seeing him more popping up in here. So, yes, thank you. Yes, all good people, man. We're going to be having some interesting conversation. So this was just, the second episode, just trying out different shades, all based in integration. When it comes to these sort of topics, you don't need much. You just need good experience people. You know what I mean? Now, in the future, we're going to have more interesting stuff. And please, guys, don't forget to comment, subscribe. And I am your host, Kovaly Kavv. You can find me on all platforms. Kovaly Kavv, KOVALYKAVV at Instagram, Snapchat, Media Pussy, Facebook, on Spotify, Coco Beat, Kovaly, Pentagon, Kovace. Shout out to Demo. Shout out to Young Kovaly, Maurice, Yao Ming. You know what I'm saying? They handling that business thing. Pentagon, clap, 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 clap. And you know this is Mr. Introduce me to your best bitch. And I am out. Peace.
We out.